Welcome to Freddy's Greenhub. If you believe that the smoke you are seeing coming from back of your car is the only emission it produces, I will prove you wrong. This smoke is just a part of the story, and when you take the cake out of the oven, in our case a brand new vehicle, it carries all the ingredients you put into it. This process is called Life Cycle Assessment, LCA. When you want to bake a cake, you go to the store to buy ingredients. But that is just one step in the process. These ingredients had to be extracted somewhere. Material extraction is the first phase, which means someone often in countries with lower living standards, such as Africa, digs into the ground to extract basis materials. These are mainly iron ore for steel production and bauxite for aluminium production. Steel and aluminium form the entire base of the car, such as the bodywork. So we have extraction and production of the material. A typical mid-range car contains about 900 kilograms of steel, which generates about 1.7 tons of CO2 equivalent during extraction. There's also about 150 kilograms of aluminium in the car, and its production releases approximately 1.7 tons of CO2 equivalent too. In total, for an ICE car, material extraction contributes to about 7 tons of CO2 equivalent with all the materials. The extraction of materials is one of the biggest challenges for electric vehicles. Where materials such as lithium and cobalt are mined, this can result in up to 7 tons of CO2 equivalent, and we still need to extract more fossil fuels. For an ICE car, this is a crucial factor. We have just covered material extraction and production, which accounts for around 30% of total LCA emissions for both ICE and EV. I wish it were a joke, but we are just getting started. The next step is a vehicle production. When you look into a car manufacturing facility today, you will see lots of robots and automated processes. And this trend will continue. You will witness processes like stamping, welding, or painting. And when such a car rolls off the production line, its carbon footprint is about 6 tons of CO2 equivalent for an ICE vehicle. For an electric car, the number goes higher, mainly due to battery production, reaching about 12 tons of CO2 equivalent, which is twice the amount compared to an ICE car. For both types, this stage makes up to 30% of total LCA emissions, in the same category as material extraction. What do you do first when you get into a car? You turn on your favorite music, and then you start the engine, beginning the use phase in the LCA. This is where two factors come into play. The first is the actual combustion of fuel, which generates emissions. And the second is the fuel production. The smoke coming from the car produces about 20 kilograms of CO2 equivalent per 100 kilometers. When you think about how much weight you are lifting in the gym, that's quite a lot, right? And the fuel used to create the smoke produces another 2 kilograms per 100 kilometers. For electric vehicles, it's around 0.4 kilograms CO2 per kilowatt hour. But this greatly depends on how your country or household generates electricity. That's a topic for another time. So, an ICE vehicle produces about 70% of its total emissions during operation, while an electric vehicle produces about 40%. If you are using clean electricity, it could be close to 0%. Do you know what is on top of the cake? The cherry. In LCA, the cherry on top is recycling. When we look at recycling, the major components of the car, such as steel and aluminium, it is already well advanced. and the quality of these materials after recycling is not too bad. For both types of cars, this stage accounts for about 10% of the LCA. But for the recycling of EV batteries, that is still a challenge. But development always comes with time. We can only hope that it will improve in this case as well. So, should I choose an ICE car or an EV if I really care about saving the planet? It's important to note that saving the planet is one side of the coin, and the other side is our comfort and financial capabilities. Today, in this video, we are only looking at emissions. And when we look only for numbers, that percentage ratio is very same. But EV produce half CO2 equivalent during lifetime. For ICE, it's around 40 tons of CO2 equivalent, and for EV, around 20 tons of CO2 equivalent. But we need to look at sustainable type of transportation. It is important that fossil fuels, when once mined, will not grow again. This topic always sparks discussions. Let's have one too. Write your opinion in the comments. If you like this video, give it a like and follow for more topics on sustainability. And don't forget, think green. Bye.